Greetings. Welcome back to HM Live. I trust you are having a blessed day. Of course, this is Christmas week, and one of the highlights of Christmas is having family around, and this is one of our holy children. This is Wyatt, and Wyatt is 5. He's the first kid that sometime back he was in church, and I do a little deal of giving coloring books away to kids, and just kind of off the cuff, I asked them which one of you wants to preach today. And Wyatt is the first one in all of history that said yeah, and then went to get his book to preach out of. So, hey Wyatt, glad you're on the webcast today. I love you, bud. Have we had fun so far? Have we had fun so far? We haven't. Okay. Well, maybe we'll have fun the next day or two then. Let me talk about Christmas just a little bit. Over 40 years ago, a church planter by the name of Jack Yance, and that is a significant name in the history of the United Pentecostal Church, was planting a church in Wisconsin, and he told his very young church there in that city that, matter of fact, it was such a small church that they were having church in their living room, but he told his congregation, look folks, this year we're going to take up an offering, we're going to send it to some other church that is also being planted. And from that very small beginning was the birth of Christmas for Christ that challenges all of us at the Christmas season to give our biggest Christmas gift to Jesus for the cause of planting other churches. Yes, it was birthed in a church planter's living room, so it would not have been a huge offering. Church plants are the birthplace of an abundance of things. Your salvation today as a product of a local church is the result of somebody having started that church. If you visit my Facebook page, you will get a chance to see pictures of church planter Jason Upton, who is starting a church in Somerset, Pennsylvania. The Uptons have a 6-year-old daughter named Neva, which is, by the way, those of you who are looking for a new name for the next daughter to be birthed in your family, that's heaven spelled backwards. Neva came to missionary Upton and said she wanted to raise $1,000 to help with their church plan. Now keep in mind, this is a 6-year-old kid. Her idea was for her dad to build little church banks. As a matter of fact, Wyatt, that's what this was. This is a church bank that Neva had her dad build, and her idea was that she would sell them for $12, and then that everybody who bought the bank would fill it up with money, and then bring all of the money back to help with her project for raising $1,000.
Money out.
Yeah, then you can take the money out, and that's what Neva wanted to have happen. And so far, she's raised $400 of her $1,000. What an ingenious thing! When her dad asked her what brought that to her mind, she said, "Well, my God told me to do it." Those are the sorts of families that you leading your church family to give their largest Christmas gift to Jesus is supporting. Let's think about that. What if your family does give its biggest Christmas gift to Jesus? What if the 5 families that perhaps are part of a very young fledgling church plant do the same thing? Think about what Neva did, raising $1,000 just with some little bank. And what about the church that has 20 families or 40 or 60 or 80 or 100?
Hey,
what if all of us...
So that you can put the money in.
That's where you put the money. That's exactly right. And we want to fill it up and overflow it and then bring it to God. What a great thing for Christmas for Christ.
Then open it and bring it to God.
That's right. And pour it out and say, this is my offering for Jesus. Is that right? Mm-hmm. I may need you on here every week. Would that be okay? Mm-hmm. It would? Mm-hmm. It goes back to his being willing to preach like he was a little bit ago. There's a rising tide, and I celebrate it, a rising tide of incarnation that's happening across North America. 70 years from now, there will be an added wave of churches like the one in Alexandria and Bellflower, California, and San Diego and Stockton, Modesto, all kinds of places that were birthed during this season. What a great time it is to be in the church. What a great time it is to be given a support mechanism to our church planners. We're doing a great job. Your support of them means so very much. The last few days, here's some things I've heard from St. Cloud, Minnesota. Another one received the Holy Ghost on Sunday in their church plant. Omaha, Nebraska, church planter Philip Bowers had 45 this past Sunday. From North Carolina, over $25,000 has been invested just in the past 90 to 120 days in developing daughter churches in that great district. In Trois-Rivières, Quebec, where we still need a pastor, 51 were in attendance this past Sunday. And in a Saturday night service on the south shore of Montreal, there were 45 there. And there are veterans, people like Robbie Mitchell and Jimmy Toney, who are going out to start new churches. There is something wonderful happening. It is the incarnation happening again. God is moving. The Word was made flesh, is what John said. The Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. Some other translations of that passage say, the Word was made flesh and moved into our neighborhood. There's something about that church and that church planter that has moved into the neighborhood. Something is happening. Instead of a question, I think there is a statement to be made. They are hearing because of a preacher, and the preacher is being supported because of your participation in Christmas for Christ. To me, Neva and what she has done with this is the personification of Christmas. Jesus coming, investing Himself. This week I celebrate with you and rejoice about Christmas and what's happening. I have a passion and a vision for what's taking place in large churches, in small churches. We celebrate Christmas. We enjoy your family. Please enjoy them as we're going to enjoy ours and have given your biggest Christmas gift to Jesus. You heard because of a preacher, and now you get to enjoy it because of a preacher. Well, Wyatt, are you going to help me say goodbye to all of these good folks that have been watching us? You're not. Okay, well, I got to wrap it up by myself, folks. So I'll tell you, as I do so often, that the greatest things happening in North America are still happening in home missions.